Good afternoon, everybody. Gotta work on that one. I'm gonna get it, man. But man, that power, even listen to those clips, right? You gotta work on it every day, that market, man. S&Ps, we're working it today, man. S&Ps down by 27 points right now, down 0.4%, trading at 6,019, and we're at a critical area, right where we were at about 2:15 this afternoon. S&Ps in the red after a light inflation number, and we're going to kick off the program, man. Journal has a great piece. I'll give it a quick glimpse. There it is. The decliners, the risers, right, where those numbers are. May inflation defies tariff fears with a muted May inflation number, but nonetheless, that's your 830 pop. You make a double top up here intraday at about almost 6,060, and we've rolled over, and you're coming into those lows. And yeah, we're going to have some volume today on the S&Ps. Check it out. We've done more volume than you've done on many days, let alone the last two. And man, you know, I wish I had pulled the trigger a little quicker as you get up, because this acceleration over yesterday, these days, man, when you get up on these light volume days, we're going to have huge volume today on this rollover, okay? And now you make the fundamental leap, okay? So what happens? Today's the day that the market should rejoice. If you are saying that inflation isn't coming, the Fed doesn't have to worry, they're going to be able to cut, and this economy is going to be on fire as we bring down rates, release the cost of capital, the market's not quite there, okay? Inflation isn't up, and what's happening? Why isn't inflation up maybe? But nonetheless, market's priced pretty well at 6,019 right now, but you take a look at these volume numbers, all right? We're going to have a big volume day in this last hour right now. NASDAQ 100. It was the same exact thing a couple days ago when we were right at these levels. You had a high on that day of 21,890. We're at 21,855. You closed that day at 21,822. So right there, man. And in the NASDAQ 100, and I'm talking about Monday, okay? 350. Sorry, yeah, Monday, right? The 9th. Yeah, man, time is flying. 352,000 contracts on Monday. We already did 450, and we're going to have an epic hour as this market's been a roller coaster like they're talking about in the den, and we're approaching those lows. Critical technical area. You're looking for a bid? That's a nice technical area, okay? You came down there in tremendous volume. This is a 5-minute. Yeah, we're not even going to have any volume like that. You're going to come back down, test it on lighter volume. We'll see if the market can find a bid in the final hour of trading. Dow. Back this out. There we go. Dow, right back to where we were when we popped earlier today. A little bit of a chart, a different chart for the Dow. And how about Bitcoin? Hanging well, man. We're at, we're negative $800, but Bitcoin, talk about a run, man. Pushing the all-time highs. We're at 109,260. Yields in focus today, that's for sure. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, 10-year, 4.41. And yeah, looks like we're making a run for these highs, and that's at about a point higher than where we are right now, folks. I've had this line on this chart for a while. You're looking for a technical area on the top, right? I didn't put this line on this chart on June 5th, folks. This line has been there, okay? And that line, I'm just backing it out. It's just a technical area of resistance that we've been trading in basically since the highs of last year. Right? Since December 9th, you had a nice high there. This consolidation really set the stage for that being a ceiling. Okay? You touched that area on April 17th. You touched that area again on June 5th. And it looks like we're coming back for that area. What's going to get in the way of this when, man, we got some light numbers of inflation. So you have higher price, lower yield. 4.41 is the number out there. And yeah, we got some dollar weakness too. Watch out, baby. It's happening. It's all happening, as they say. 98,675. You're challenging the lows. Yeah, you got a little bit of a tail out there, okay? But we are right at the lows, man. You caught a nice bid the day of June 3rd with a low of 98,583, and we're at 98,673. Dollar weakness and lower yields coming at you. Now, we're going to talk these May muted inflation numbers, but what's also remarkable is Paul Tudor Jones, all right? Yeah, he's looking for 10% dollar slump. 90's in the cards, man. You don't think 90's in the cards? You're not assigning enough of a probability, okay? There is a distinct probability that we got dollar weakness coming at it. I love the argument he makes, and we're getting to the CPI numbers in a moment, okay? But here's the quotes. You know that we're going to cut short-term rates dramatically in the next year. and you know that the dollar will probably be lower because of it, a lot lower because of it. Now, everyone's always talking their own book. I got to say that, you know. You got to take anybody who's saying anything. He runs a $16 billion macro hedge fund, okay? Where do you think his money's invested when he's on Bloomberg television telling you that the dollar's going down? Don't even think about buying it, okay? For what it's worth, you know it's out there. But, boy, the points he makes, all right, and just the technical place of it. And he also said, which you better pay attention to that's coming down the line, is that, yeah, when Chairman Powell's done, okay, let's see, when does it end? May 15th, 2026, we're going to have a Federal Reserve chairman that's going to cut rates by 2%. No, I'm kidding on that one, okay? But you better believe that if things aren't happening fast enough, Trump has the right to put in whoever he wants. And I think the way things are going right now, there's not going to be a lot of pushback on anyone reasonable that feels that rates should be lower, okay? So you're talking about only May next year, 11 months in, okay? And yeah, that Trump's likely to appoint an uber dovish Federal Reserve chair to accommodate his growth agenda when that term ends, which is May 15th, 2026. And that is his term as chair of the Federal Reserve. His term as a member of the board ends January 31st, 2028, and his second term started May 23rd, 2022. So he's got a 4-year term. And I guess they shave a week off it because he was sworn in the 23rd of 2022. That's May. And he runs through May 15th. So, you know, in light of today's action, right? Yeah, we got a little volatility, man. And we got light inflation data that goes with it. And you got dollar weakness. Now, we go a little big picture, okay? Big picture, we haven't been below these price levels since, you know, you take out this low that we had in April that we're challenging right now. You break below that low, and folks, we're within 1 point of that level right now. That's not it. Forgive me. 97,921 going back to April 21st, okay? But outside of that, you're approaching area. You break below this 100, what's next? There it is. You don't got to be a technical trader. Where's the next stop? Next stop's at 90, man. We're at 96.62, and we'll talk some inflation data when we get back. Stay tuned, folks.